Hi everyone, happy Wednesday. We've made it halfway through the week and I am really excited for the segment that we are about to bring you. Thanks for watching our live videos all throughout the week. We've got more ahead for you tomorrow, and remember we wrap up on Friday with our 605 Made virtual market, so make sure you join us at noon for that. We've been talking the last week or so about our COVID-19 survey. We've talked to you about all different aspects of how your daily life has changed since COVID-19. And one topic that I thought was especially fun to have you weigh in on had to do with your dining habits. So we know that more than half of the nearly 900 people who responded to our survey said that they do leave the house to go get food from restaurants. It was number two. You leave the house most of all to go grocery shopping, and right after that you leave the house to go patronize restaurants. And we've got some restaurant experts who are going to be with me today, so you are going to get to ask your questions about the industry and particularly about their concepts, which I think, actually I know you agree that these guys have done a great job adjusting and adapting to new business models, because we asked you in our survey to name some restaurants that you think have done a really good job, and you picked their concepts out. So I'm going to bring in Todd Porter and Gilbert Garcia. And what you need to know, first of all, is Todd Porter is a longtime restaurant guy. I'll let him fill you in on some of his background and his experience. And Gilbert is, I think he's even got it there on his shirt, Mr. Slim Chickens in Sioux Falls, and I'm thinking probably helps out across Todd's operations. I drove by Slim Chickens actually a couple hours ago. I had to leave the office for an errand, and once again, guys, that drive-through was packed. So whatever you are doing is working. Todd, let me start with you. For people who are not familiar with your background, can you just fill us all in on which concepts you franchised here locally and how long you've been in the industry?
Sure. Thanks for having us. Yeah, we've been around a long time now. We opened our first restaurant in 1991. It was Applebee's over in the Empire East Mall. And we continued to expand that concept for years until I sold it a few years ago. But we've had Johnny Carino's Country Italian, Chevy's Fresh Mex, previously Rio Bravo. One time we owned Papa John's, but those were sold a while back. And we have Pizza Rev. So we're still engaged in the industry each and every day, and still enjoy it a lot. And we're going to be around a lot longer.
Absolutely, and of course, Slim Chickens I already mentioned. So, as you said, going back to 1991, I'm not going to do the math super quick here, but decades, when this whole pandemic started to unfold here locally, and it became clear that operations were going to have to change big time in the restaurant business. What went through your mind? What were some of those first steps you've taken, and how have you, one by one, helped your concepts adjust to this?
Well, in a lot of ways, and each concept has adjusted a little bit differently. Slim Chickens, of course, has a drive-through, and so we've really ramped up the speed of the drive-through, the staffing in the drive-through. And we've, at first, sales did suffer, but I think as everyone realized, our only social life was probably going to be to go to the grocery store, as you mentioned, or pick up some food through a drive-through or curbside. We just made the transition. The dining rooms are ready to go when the city's ready to go, and we're fully staffed, and we're excited when people can come back to the dining rooms and the patios. But in the meantime, it is kind of fun to watch those cars wrapped around the parking lot and out into the street. Our service times are approaching 1 minute at the window, so you can literally see that line moving, which is a really good optic to have as people are driving by and kind of see that the service is flowing and they're not so afraid to get into a line with 15 cars.
It's eye-catching.
Go ahead.
Yeah, but it makes you think something's going on there that maybe you want to be a part of too. I mean, I think it makes it look like you've got something good going on there. Gilbert, how are you doing that over at Slim Chickens? What have you had to do operationally to make that happen?
Well, we're fortunate to have a really great management team and some of the best employees in Sioux Falls that they care about their jobs. We're taking all the precautionary measures that to keep them safe, but they really they take the challenge of seeing the line of cars and seeing how fast they can get them through, and it's exciting for them. It's exciting for us. We're doing everything we can to take care of them, and it's been fun. We double staffed the drive through. We added some a couple of people in the kitchen just to make sure that we're overstaffed. And again, the management team is doing a fantastic job managing the situations that every day is different, but they're adjusting well, and the team is responding fantastic.
Todd, I remember we talked when you brought Slim Chickens into the market, and one of the things you said that you liked about it at that time was it was a pretty limited menu. How much does that help during a time like this?
It definitely helps with speed of service. Complex menus, given the situation we're all in, are difficult at times. And so I think you've seen a lot of different concepts scale back their menus to enable sometimes limited staff to be able to get the food out of the kitchen. We're doing pretty well at Slim Chickens. Our menu really hasn't changed because there's only a handful of items on the menu: the chicken sandwiches, the chicken tenders, grilled tenders, some salads, some wraps, fries, coleslaw, potato salad, homemade chips, some desserts. So we're sitting in a good position not to have to alter anything at all.
Ben, we're going to get to your question, and viewers, there's a lot of you watching, so we do want to hear from you. Please let us know what you're wondering about, and if we've got some fans out there of these concepts, Slim Chickens, Carinos, Chevys, Pizza Rev, tell us what you like there. Ben's question, and we're going to get to this, is about reopening and spacing out in the restaurant. And actually, we got a little bit of late breaking news that we're going to share here quickly regarding Carinos, first of all, but Gilbert, I'll go back to you and stick on this menu thing. We keep hearing threats. Tyson came out last week about a meat shortage. Do we need to worry about the chicken, or do you feel like you're okay as far as being able to get the supply that you need to meet all of this demand?
So far, we haven't had any shortages in our chicken tenders. Our suppliers doing a really good job. Our corporate office tries to stay ahead of the curve on these situations the best they can, and again, we've been blessed not to have any shortages on our main items, tenders being one of them. So as of right now, no signs of us being short in our tenders. So that's a great thing.
Absolutely, that's what we want to hear, but figured I should check. Okay, so I know you guys we have a number of viewers now who are commenting about, do we reopen with some limited capacity? They're anxious to get into those restaurants. Todd, why don't you tell us what you announced today over at Carinos as far as what some of those next steps could look like?
Wow, you found out about it quick. So yeah, I think we announced today that we're going to start taking reservations. Jessica's done a wonderful job. She's an expert at social media, so I leave that to her. But I think we're going to take reservations for an hour and a half, back to back, all through the day and into the evening until close. Closing time is kind of been a moving target, but I think probably till 8:30 or so. So unfortunately, it's only 10 people in the restaurant, and I've literally got 5 dining rooms there, but we can only have 10 people in the entire restaurant. I wish it were different, that we could have maybe 10 on the patio, 10 in the bar, and then maybe 10 in the wine room and the other dining rooms. But of course, we're going to adhere to whatever Sioux Falls has in place. We'll respect that, but we're really anxious to maybe do like North Dakota has done, get up to 50% capacity, and when we do that, we'll obviously create situations that respect social distancing and make people feel safe and comfortable, and as people feel safer and maybe we get closer to a vaccine or something, hopefully we'll get back to normal as we used to know it.
Right, but you know what? It's a start. It's a way to start getting some people in, begin that system of reservations, which I thought made a lot of sense. It gives you a sense of the crowd that you can anticipate. We've got one viewer at least who wants to make a reservation right now.
Okay.
Contact the restaurant. I'm not gonna won't want to have these guys remember to book that one, but you can begin to do that. I want to recognize Carino's though. That was one that popped up a number of times in our survey. They have really stepped it up. Those family servings, the meal deals that they've offered really seem to be resonating with customers. What are some of the things you think they're doing right over there?
Well, it was there was quite a shock to the system when we started doing literally at times half the business that we used to do through our curbside. I mean, it got really crazy, and so it's a kind of an assembly line situation, and it's the learning curve has gotten better and better, and now what used to be a very difficult situation, they're handling quite easily. It's going smoother. There were definitely some bumps in the road, but now it's kind of our new normal. But now that we're going to take reservations, we're done with painting and staining, and we're getting the flowers out on the deck, and we put down some new floors in the dining rooms, and so Carino's is ready to rock.
You were telling me when we were getting ready for the interview that you even have been doing some, what I'll say are little touches, but I think they make a big difference within those properties as far as how they look, even from the outside, and then what kind of environment you're trying to create for your staff, even though there aren't a lot of them inside. But tell us a little bit about those adjustments that you've made, because I thought they were interesting.
Well, as like you said earlier when we spoke, a dark, quiet restaurant, it just kind of ruins the feel and the culture. So we've tried to more recently turn the music on, turn the lights up, get the flowers potted and by the doors, have the place shining, have the tables set and ready to go, the bar ready to go, all the bottles shined up and the glasses shined up, and just really pretend that this is our grand opening, even though we know there's only going to be 10 people in there every hour and a half, and it's gonna take a while before everyone feels comfortable coming together again. But in the meantime, we want it to feel like it used to, even though it's still a little empty.
I want to talk about Chevy's too, because again, you've made menu adjustments and it seems like they've done a nice job. And I checked in on Facebook with them and they are posting that they need more workers, that you're hiring. So let's talk about what's been happening at Chevy's, and maybe that's a theme across your properties. I don't know. Do you need more people?
We always need people. That's part of the restaurant gig nowadays. We're short. However, we're hiring managers, we're hiring staff people, even though we're slower than we used to be. We anticipate hopefully a nice V-shaped recovery, and we'll be busy like we used to be, and those people are going to need some retraining. And right now, in fact, our general manager over at Slim Chickens, he's off the floor. He's not managing shift. He's doing nothing but hiring and training and spending time trying to make sure the facilities look perfect for when we reopen.
I want to share with you, thank you, Ashley. Very nice comment from one of our viewers. Ashley says, our family is thankful that many of your restaurants have stayed open for to-go orders. They love the family-style meals from Carino's and the pickup curbside. Love the 20% off at Slim Chickens. Called that a blessing and said they will continue to take advantage not only in the restaurants but also those to-go options, and that's great. And that should be recognized because not everyone has stayed open. Everyone's considerations are different. Each business is an individual entity, but for those that did choose to stay open, it has not been easy. It has required a lot of adjusting, doing things really differently. So very nice of you guys to recognize that. What are you thinking about as far as that future planning goes? Like the one viewer asked earlier, let's say we can get to a 25% or a 1/3 or 1/2 occupancy. Can you make that work within the property? Are you going to be able to space people out enough, do you think? Have you gotten to that stage of planning yet?
Yeah, no, it shouldn't be a problem. Previous to going to the 10 people in the restaurant rule, we had already did that. We tried to get ahead of the curve a little bit, and so we used some construction tape and taped off certain tables, and there's all kinds of different ways of creating the social spacing, and no one was used to it then. But now there's all kinds of different options. You can take the chairs away, and you can put a big X on the table, and we're going to do whatever we think works best. But there shouldn't be any problem in getting people 6 foot apart. People aren't going to be shoulder to shoulder at the bar, so I figure more people will be at tables. But yeah, no, we're looking forward to it. It's a challenge. We're trying to look at all the positives through all this. It's really been a great learning moment, teaching moment for some of the young people that work for us. They've learned a lot about sanitation and organization, and I think going forward they'll all take that part of our food safety and customer safety a lot more seriously. And I think, for the whole industry, it's probably a good thing. It's been painful, but in the long run, I think everyone's going to appreciate restaurants that are, run more like a Navy ship rather than some of the things we've seen in the past. And I think we'll all be better off.
Well, here's a bit of good news. You've got a reservation booked for Friday. Our viewer Lisa, she's in. She got it done. She called already while we've been on, so that's great. Do you want to talk at all about Pizza Ref and how you've made adjustments there?
Yes, I mean, same thing. We're taking online orders. We have a third-party delivery, Food Dudes and Grubhub that we're utilizing. We're doing curbside pickup. Again, staffing, we make sure that we try to staff it as best as we can. And the manager there and the team, again, doing a fantastic job trying to keep up with the demand. There's definitely been a learning curve, but like Todd said, I think it's preparing us for when everything gets back to the new normal to come out on top on a lot of different ways, different aspects of the business. So we're looking forward to that, and again, staffing has been a big issue. Keeping the sanitation standards as high as possible on a consistent basis has been a big priority.
Okay, this is just kind of a fun one now because I'm curious more than anything. Are you seeing any dining trends during the pandemic? Are you selling more of certain items? Are there some customer favorites that are emerging at any of these concepts?
For Slim Chickens, no. I mean, our tender overall, I mean, it's been pretty consistent. Hello?
Okay, yep, I'm still there. We had a little network glitch. Can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Perfect. I feel like the internet knows every time I'm about to wrap up, but any other customer favorites that have kind of been surprises for you or things that have stood out?
Well, we've seen fried pickles and fried mushrooms and desserts pick up quite a bit. I think, like I said, it's the event of the day is what are you going to eat today and tonight? And so there's some comfort food taking place, picking up a little bit. Chicken sandwiches have done well. And then, of course, the big fiesta platters at Chevy's and the Grandiosa platters that Chevy's and Carinos are doing at half price. And that's our way of giving back to the community. It's a tremendous amount of food for a very low price, but we want to keep everybody busy, give people the hours that they want and need, and just help serve the people of Sioux Falls, and hopefully when this is all over, they'll remember us and come back and see us when we're all open for the patios and the dining rooms, and it'll be fun. We're looking forward to it.
Well, I think we all are. Anything else that you would like to say or to share with your customers or with the community that I have not asked you guys about?
No, we just want to say thank you for continuing to come to our restaurants and keeping us in busy places so that we can provide the hours for our employees. And just thank you for visiting our restaurants.
Yeah, we've got a very loyal customer base, and we really appreciate them answering your survey and mentioning our restaurants. And we feel the same. Sioux Falls, we love you, and we can't wait to serve you at full capacity again.
Terrific. Okay, I know you're both super busy, so I will let you return to work. I suspect you've got some reservations that are going to be coming in at Carino's, thanks to our viewers, and hopefully some extra takeout orders at those other concepts that they maybe have been learning a bit more about today. So again, Todd, Gilbert, thanks so much for being with me. Good luck with this long return to normal, I suspect, and congratulations on your success in navigating through this so far. I appreciate you joining us.
Yes, thank you.
And thanks as always for joining us. Tomorrow, bring your questions for Chief Medical Officer Dr. Mike Elliott at Avera McKinnon. Lots to catch up with him about. And again, Friday at noon, shop live and local with us, 605 Made Virtual Market. If you want to watch a replay of this, it'll be available at siouxfalls.business, along with lots of other business news, more yet to do today. So I'm going to get back to work as well. As always, thanks so much for watching.